So there are many species of aliens, but they're not, I'm calling them aliens because I don't know what else to call them, but they're not aliens. The other species of creation that want a relationship with us. And I do want to talk to you a little bit about that. I haven't finished my exhortation yet. And when I do, we're going to take a little break, and I'm going to try to share with you what the Lord told me this morning about these other species to the degree that I understand it. But what I'm trying to get through to you right now is going on is that there are a lot of people on the internet saying that these aliens, or these so-called aliens, are demons. Now, it's in my opinion, I think these are Christians. Are they demons? What is a demon? I'm not sure what a demon is. The kind of demons that Jesus cast out, those are the demons that were cast out of me. They were fragments of my personality that were negative. They were fragments, not a whole personality, fragments of my personality that were evil and were influencing me to the point that they were killing me. They were evil elements in my personality. How did they get there? I don't know. I was born with some of them, and then I did things wrong. I read cards and all that, but those were not whole personalities. They were fragments of soul. Fragments of soul that were evil. That's the demons that were in the church. Those were the demons that were cast out of me. But I know that I've read books on demons from the Jewish point of view, and those demons are whole personalities. According to Jewish literature, as I understand it, demons are whole personalities. In other words, personalities that separate from the human body when the body dies and do not pass on. They're disembodied souls, disembodied whole personalities. That's according to the Jewish literature. And I think that is also true according to the Hindu literature. So does that make these aliens demons? No, but that's what my understanding is. That they're human according to the Jewish literature. I'm not too sure about the Hindu literature. According to the Jewish literature, they're human souls that are separated from the body, that don't have a body, so they get inside of you. But these aliens, so-called aliens, they want to get inside of us also. See, that's the great mystery for me. I don't have all the answers yet. That's the great mystery. I've seen pictures of them where they are apparently as solid as I am. But the question is, can they maintain that form? When they're solid like we are, it can be a temporary form. They're not able to maintain that form permanently, and they want to get inside of people. There's a lot that I don't know. But what's going on the internet today is that there's a lot of talk about aliens. They're being accepted by a lot of people, a lot of politically correct people, especially this Jason Sather. I happen to really like him. He's 26 years old. He's really cute. He's very smart, and he's very, to be honest with you, he reminds me of myself when I first started preaching. If you listen to my early messages, I was so sold out to God. I don't, what is the right word? When I listen to myself, I have to smile, because it was that youthful enthusiasm that God called me to preach, and today, I'm like normal. This is just me when I come out here and preach, but I don't know if you can relate to this or not. But he's just so dedicated, and not that I'm dedicated anymore, I've just mellowed, you see. But he's young, and he's full of beans, and he's very smart. And according to his own testimony, he just started to do this internet thing, and he's a humble guy. He was shocked. And he now has about 20,000 followers. He said he's absolutely shocked that people like listening to him. And so he's following it through, and it's becoming an internet business for him. And he was up there talking with this youthful self-confidence and authority, saying there are no The aliens are not demons, you know, so he's like in this teacher mode, you know, if you listen, but then whoever you listen to, they're in the teacher mode. You can keep them as your teacher or leave them, or agree with them or not agree with them, but he's the one, if you're listening to him, he's the one that has the authority. If you don't like it, don't listen to him. So he's saying, these aliens, they are not demons. He said, so they're like everything else. Some of them are good and some of them are evil, but they're not demons. And he said, this is really wrong what's going on the internet, that all these people are out there saying that they're demons, and I want to straighten that out for all the people that follow me. I want to straighten you out. They're not demons. So he was broadcasting live, and someone wrote in the chat, they're demons, you know. And he said, well, someone's writing. What are they writing? They're saying they're demons. No, they're not demons. So while he was telling everybody they're not demons, someone that was following him was writing into the chat, yes, they are, they're demons. Now, I think that it's Christians on the internet trying to warn all these people as the whole concept of aliens become more and more acceptable. We're rapidly racing towards the day that they make a public appearance. More and more people are accepting them. Some are evil and some are good. So we don't want the evil ones, but the good ones, they're okay. That's the message. The good ones, they're okay. And they want to help us against the evil aliens. See? So there are Christians all over the internet saying aliens are demons. Okay? Are they demons? I don't know. Okay, but they're a different species, and we're not supposed to be having a relationship with them, and we certainly don't need them to help us. We have a helper. His name is Jesus. See? So it's a seduction. It's a seduction. It's a deception. They're being deceived. And then the seduction is that you start having relationships with them, and then they attach themselves to you. And I think I told you, it was just a couple of weeks ago, that I watched this interview of David Wilcock. David Wilcock interviewed, I don't remember the name of the interviewee, but he was this man that claimed he was kidnapped by naval intelligence, and because he was highly psychic, and signed up with a 20-year contract that he had to serve in the secret military for 20 years, and he was taken to all of these meetings and councils of aliens and all that, and I was just interested to try to understand where he was coming from based on the knowledge that the Lord has given me. You know, I had questions. I said, well, look, I speak the questions into the air. I had questions. Here the man is married, he has children, he looks like, and he supposedly gave up a 3-figure job to now come and speak on behalf of his teaching, of his knowledge, of the secret space program, etc., etc. You know. And I said, I don't understand that. If he was kidnapped at 6 years old, and he was kept by military intelligence for 20 years, that makes him 26, and now he looks like maybe he's in his 30s. Well, where did he get his education? What is he doing that he has a 6-figure job that he just gave up? Did they train him? Did they educate him during that 6 years? I mean, he came from spending 20 years in naval intelligence as a forced empath to communicate with aliens, etc., etc. And then he left, and he came into our world and got a 6-figure job, and he's well adjusted in the way he relates to his fellow workers. I have a problem with that. I have a problem with that. So I had all of these questions, and I listened. I asked the Lord if I could listen to the interview. And I know the rule is if the Lord says no, doesn't say anything, the answer is no. But where I am right now, it doesn't always work like that. Sometimes depending on what the issue is, I don't want to get into that right now, but it's gotten more difficult for me. So it doesn't always mean no when he doesn't say anything. Sometimes he wants me to make a decision myself. So I listened to the interview. I listened carefully for the first 5 or 10 minutes. I didn't see anything demonic, and I listened to the whole interview. And during that interview, I found out. I don't know if I found it out from him or on another article, that this man, okay, that supposedly was 20 years with naval intelligence as an empath, okay, he had no recollection of it. He was in some kind of psychotherapy or under hypnosis, and the memories were raised up in him. So here he was, this man. And I also had these questions, well, what about his parents? He was taken when he was 6 years old. When he came out of naval intelligence, did he look up his parents? I had all of these questions, because he seemed to be leading a normal life. I saw a picture of his wife and his children. So he was this man that had parents and a wife and children and a job, and somehow he got into this hypnosis, and he had memories of spending 20 years on this naval intelligence ship. So as far as he knows, he had a normal life, but he had memories of it. Do you understand what I'm saying? Either it happened in another dimension. If it happened, but probably, in my opinion, it didn't happen. Although I think it was very real for him. I think he had a real spiritual experience that came out of some demonic connection, some satanic connection that joined itself to him, and it was very real for him. But it didn't take away any of his time on this earth. The best example I can give you is the Star Trek episode when Captain not Captain Kirk, who's the other captain? Picard, thank you. Captain Picard, when the ship got hit with an asteroid and he hit his head, and he was lying unconscious on the floor of the Enterprise for like 3 minutes. And in that 3 minutes, he lived a whole lifetime in another dimension. He found himself in another world. He met a woman, he got married, he had children, he had grandchildren, and he died. And when he died in the other world, he opened up his eyes on the deck of the Enterprise, and he said, "How long have I been unconscious?" And they said, 3 minutes. So this man that David Wilcock interviewed, he had a normal life. He had parents, he had a wife, he had children, he went to school, he had a career, he had a 6-figure job, and then somehow he got into hypnosis or whatever technique they use, and he had memories of spending 20 years on a ship and being this empath, that interface between American naval intelligence and the alien council, see? So it may have been very real for him that some demon gave him, or some satanic influence gave him that experience that was very real for him. But it didn't take away anything from this life. Can you follow that? Is that too hard for you? Can you follow that? Mm-hmm. That's a very deep spiritual principle, brethren. If you can understand that, you're very advanced. At least for this, we're advanced. We're advanced above the average person in the street. See? But there are new ages that probably still know more than we do. But we're catching up very fast. See? I want to understand these things. Truth will help me to not be deceived. Truth that comes out of Christ. I want to understand this. So anyway, what happened to me was I watched almost that whole interview for about an hour. And a part of that interview, he gave his testimony and how he became an ambassador to humanity to give them this information. And he said that he was approached by an alien, and he drew a picture of the alien, and it was blue. It was hominid, that's the word they use. It was standing upright, 2 arms, 2 legs, and eyes, and it was intelligent, but it was a bird. It didn't have wings, but it had feathers. See? And all I saw was his drawing of it. And after 1 hour interview, that thing was in my mind, trying to get into my mind. I had to pray spiritual warfare to drive it out. See? And he said that avian came to him and recruited him. To what he's doing now, he's an ambassador, spokesperson for these aliens, so to speak, and gave up his 6-figure job to be their spokesperson. So he had this 20-year experience, It was like another root that grew out of this life, like a dream world that grew out of this life. But for him, it was 20 years. But he didn't lose anything in this world. Okay? Now, I think it was John Lake that describes, he was a very well-known preacher, and he describes an experience that he had, that I think he had both experiences. He had experiences where he soul traveled with when his body went with him, and he lost time, he was gone, okay, and then he came back. But then he also had an experience like that he was just reaching up to shut off a light bulb on a chain. He was reaching up to pull the chain, and he was suddenly in Red Square in Russia. He was preaching in Russia, and he had experiences in Russia, and then he snapped back like a rubber band, and when his consciousness came back to the room that he was in, he was standing there like this, pulling the chain, getting ready to pull the chain on the light bulb. So we had that whole experience that was beyond this realm, and it didn't take away anything from this realm. I'm sure that there's a name for that, but I don't know what it is. Extra something or other, extra dimensional experience, something like that. Okay. What I'm trying to say before I go on with this, let me just say this, so this is what's going on the internet, that there are Christians trying to tell people that these so-called aliens or demons, they may or may not be demons, but they're other species, and they don't intend, their intentions towards us are not good, even though they've come to help us, and maybe they can help us if we would let them. But Jesus is our helper. Their intent, the end of it will not be good. See.